I heard something.
What's up, snowblowers? I'm Tom.
I'm Gail.
And this is 15 minutes of fume. So today we're sniffing the perfumes known as Snow on Snow on Snow. You guessed it, they smell like snow. We have a annually recurring, most years I think, I think continuously, forever basically, a Snow White perfume.
She's been around.
A beautiful, chilled, snowy, bright, floral, returns year after year.
This is so good. I'm sorry, every
it's
time.
It's a classic. Yeah.
Every time.
We're not here to review this for now, but...
but she is snowy.
She's snowy, she exists. She's also available as a hair gloss this year.
Yeah.
Gloss your hairs with Snow White. But anyway, we created a kind of subcategory of perfumes in the Yule launch that revolves around frozen perfume blends from the rest of BPAL's catalog, which is funny because in the past we've done like frostbitten versions of other perfumes. The Snow White one is a little different, right? Like it's not just the same frostbitten note. I definitely think that she is present in some of these blends in a unique way. You know, as the product category says, it's like, you know, she's been casting magical snow spells over these other perfumes, and what a delightful idea. Wouldn't you like to smell them?
Uh-huh.
I know I would.
Okay.
Some of these I've smelled extensively already, and others I've scarcely touched. So shall we?
Yeah.
That's the answer I was hoping to hear, because otherwise I just don't even know what we're doing. KNAVE of Snowflakes. Which is inspired by the Lab's Knave of Hearts perfume, one of my favorites, which is a beautiful gourmand rose scent. And this version is blackcurrant tarts and chilled rose jam. Wow, this has settled a bit since we first got it in the mail. It's just a whole different beast altogether than the original scent, which practically froths out of the bottle with the gourmand, like tart pastry smell.
And this is definitely gourmand in the bottle, but different.
It's tempered.
It does have a chill in it.
Yes. It's the chilledness of it. I mean, that's actually funny because it's like actually works that way with taste, where the colder something is, the harder it is to taste it. Food is more flavorful when it's warm. So there's something about the iciness of it that is kind of tamping down that pastry scent. I am getting a hint of the rose in the bottle. When I first smelled this, when it was fresher in the mail, all I could smell was the snow. And it was a really strange experience because, like I said, that other version is so familiar.
Oh my god, this is fascinating because it is such a rosy gourmand. I know that it already is to begin with, but then you have this weird cold chill.
It's a chilly quietness has settled over it. Like there's a real kind of peacefulness to it. It's like less kind of like robust and people have described the Snow White blend, the particular sweetness of it, as being like coconutty or almondy, which I understand where that's coming from, even though if I don't really, that's maybe not how I would describe it. But that, whatever quality that is, definitely lends itself to the KNAVE of Snowflakes experience. It's just like there's a hint of dark fruit. It's like lightly rosy, but again, the rose isn't just like screaming. The KNAVE of Hearts, really, like the foodiness of it dies down gradually, and the rose that's left always reminds me of kind of like a shisha. It's like that sticky, almost tobacco-y rose. And here, it's just more gentler, more peaceful overall. The KNAVE is hibernating for the winter, but you can still smell them. Yeah, it's delightful.
I like the heaviness of the rose. Like it feels like it has been rose jam.
Yeah.
Frozen.
Right.
Heavy clump of it. You know? And then you can, I don't know, it's funny how that translates.
Do you like rose jam? Didn't we
buy
some? No, but that was rose hips.
It was rose hip, and I didn't have any.
That was different. Well, let's just sit and mellow for a sec while we move on to something very different. that actually does have coconut in it, which is Snow Goblin. If you or someone you love believes they have snow goblins, please seek professional advice. Okay, Snow Goblin. So the Goblin perfume, general catalog, always a fave. This is Snow Goblin is blackened coconut, chilled benzoin, and cave damp patchouli.
Oh, the benzoin is chilled, the patchouli is cave damp.
We're going underground. Snow Goblin is like the perfume that the girls from The Descent would wear.
Oh no!
You know?
Oh, it's so dark.
It really is. I love that cave damp is in the scent description. I just need to pay more attention to things that might be cave damp or smell that way. That coconut, of course, is like leading out of the bottle and does marry really nicely to the chilled snow whiteness of it all. Benzoin is harder for me to get in the bottle, but the patchouli is right there for sure. This does definitely have a kind of a strange smell, like taking refuge in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Do you hear that?
Sounds like goblins.
It's a little sweet, a little toasty, a little cold, very cave damp. Much cave damp, wow. Cool and earthy. If your vibe is cool and earthy with a bit of a whisper of coconut, then you need to get yourself some Snow Goblin.
Wow, this smells so different than regular goblin.
It really does. Describe that though, because people need to know what that difference is like.
I would say goblin is, I mean, obviously, as we've already said, this is cave damp. That is like a big change because I feel like the goblin one is very like dry and scratchy and super dry, just like a super dry earthy scent. And this is like,
it's like giving me winter mud.
Yeah,
that's what I mean, you know, like
muddier.
Like walking disco this week out in the park and it's like been really cold and there's frost in the grass, but there's still lots of mud and there's just like that squish to it. It has a squish.
Yeah.
Instead of like a hard icicle like frostbite, it's more like frost mud.
Yeah, the sweet toastiness is there, but it is like, this is really different.
It definitely has a sense, like a fantasy smell, like something from like The Hobbit. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like definitely like a fairy tale quality to it.
Yeah. I do get a bit of that Snow White tinge in there, and that is, like, I'm just kind of like...
Do you think that it's just the coolness, or is it also like a bit of the floral? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It smells like a little bit of the floral to me. That's where it smelled specifically like Snow White to me.
Yeah. Like, I'm revising...
Just the lightest breath of that floral.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I'm revising my commentary from the Tolkien world to Narnia. Okay. This is like a Narnia goblin.
No.
Yes, and yes, I think I'm getting a little bit of a hint of the flowers. It's really hard to tell. Because they're so, like, I don't know, it's hard to identify the florals even in the Snow White blend.
Yeah.
Because all that's said about them, I think, is faintest breath of night blooming flowers. So if this Snow Goblin has the faintest breath of night blooming flowers also, you just have to, accept that. Let the goblins have all the flowers they want. Okay, Snow Lion. Savannah Golden Spiced Amber, shimmering under a stark white mane of splintered ice. Wow, we are in Narnia. I'm not as familiar.
I am not familiar with Lion.
What is there not to like about a golden spiced amber, snowified or otherwise? So, okay. Wow, I wish that I had more familiarity with the original one to compare this to, and I haven't smelled the Snow Lion at all. It's kind of got a bit of that warm, cold, like clashing color palette, like a sunrise in the winter, where you've just got that like golden orange sky and then like the blue-white coolness of the landscape. That's the vibe. It is really spicy in the bottle. I love that amber.
Yeah, the amber is
It's
delightful.
a very rich, kind of like funky amber. You know I'm all about the funky amber experience. Although everything after their 4th album was garbage. Wow.
You haven't heard Funky Amber Experience? You're missing out.
I am going to be wearing this some more. It does have, so it has a kind of like a frosty edge to it. But I think if anything, I mean, this is great. It's a great winter scent because it's got that like warm amber like kind of rising out of it. But I really think this would be an excellent summer scent too because it is tempered with that coolness. So if you were like an amber for all weathers type of somebody, this could take you all the way.
Yeah.
Like it smells like sticky to the touch. Like it smells like sticky amber, like resin droplets or something.
Yeah. It's really nice.
With the snow, it's almost, there's a hint that it's almost going a little bit evergreen. You know?
Yeah.
But it never really crosses over. Just like a gorgeous incensey perfume, I think. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. Yeah, it doesn't feel as chilly as the other ones have.
No, but maybe that's just because the amber is like...
It's just like, try it. Just try it. Try to calm me down.
Right. You can't.
You can't.
Fuck
I'm
with
Amber.
a lion. No. You
Like
can't kill Aslan.
Like there's a chill in there.
He's
but
Jesus. He'll be back. I mean, he was basically metaphorically Jesus.
I am familiar with the thinly veiled
8th grade literature studies.
mythology.
Can I just share that once in my grade school that we had to do I probably even already, we've done years of these videos, I probably complained about this like 100 times, but we had to do a costume parade for Halloween one year, and each class's parade was themed around a book, and our class got to do The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And as I'm saying this, I know I've shared this before, and I was made into the professor. So everyone else got to dress up as like cool fantasy creatures, and I got to put on a like gross acrylic sweater and like, you know, not like the very cheerful acrylic sweater I'm wearing right now, but and like a dusty mop wig, and I had glasses, which is I think why they gave me the professor, and I had to march around being a little old man while everyone else got to be like wood sprites and, you know, other shit.
Well, you complain about it now, but like, don't you think like, what a character part? You were given a character role.
You know what?
Not fantasy, mind you, but like,
yeah.
you were like, you could be the old man.
Yeah, I really
like,
should have gone like full Thelma Ritter with it. But
yeah.
What's funny is my mom was furious because she's like, I'm not making you like a second whole Halloween costume, you know, like, so she spent like it was like no frills, and everyone else was like, got to do something fantabulous, and I was like wearing old people clothes and like a really gross gray wig. I think there's something as a child that's upsetting about a gray wig, you know?
Yes, there
so
is.
I'm just saying that this snow lion is helping me heal my Narnia related childhood trauma.
That's good.
I feel exultant.
Ooh. Did you skip the snake?
We don't have Snow Snake with us here. Sorry, if you were waiting for it, you should have read the caption, because that's where all the timestamps are, and you would have known that. I don't know how to say that right off the bat. It's like, welcome everyone to 15 Minutes of Fume. We don't have Snow Snake. I guess I should have done that. We'll just like open with like a land acknowledgement and then also a list of everything we're not reviewing. Snow White Rabbit is what we're moving on to. White Rabbit is like a BPAL classic, and the snow version, I can't wait. Milk tea boba with white pepper, ginger, honey, and vanilla spilled over the crisp scent of clean linen and then tossed into a snowdrift.
Well, now you're definitely going to be late.
Why? Because of reading that long ass description?
No, because the rabbit's late. You get tossed into a snowdrift.
Yeah,
Then
but
you're like,
you toss everything in the
crap.
snowdrift because you're late. Like,
Oh.
you have to flip the table to get out of
I
there.
have to go. I'm a rabbit. I'm very important.
I'm so sorry. I'm a rabbit with poor time management skills. You do understand.
Oh, my fur and whiskers.
That sounds like a line from Oh, Superman.
Oh, this is so nice.
We got ya. Oh my gosh. It is like in the bottle a spicy gingery milk tea. Like, I'm completely getting that.
Oh, wow.
The honey, the vanilla, it's all like a beautiful fantasy beverage. It is peppery. And then I do get a bit, just a faintest bit of the linen and the snowdrift, which kind of like...
It just has that clean breath to it.
It's like getting an incredible boba tea at an establishment that is just like really immaculate. You know?
I would say really close to a laundromat.
No.
No.
No, it's just a nice, clean establishment that really like cares about, you know, the presentation of
It's a very clean.
Yeah.
Incredibly clean.
Okay. I like that I can smell. I mean, the ginger and honey are singing. They're right there. So.
And there is just that little chill to it, which is like making me
Yes. It's like you
concerned
can.
about the rabbit. Hope he's
Why?
okay.
They're fine. They live in nature. Where do you think the rabbits go in the winter?
Oh, I hope he's okay.
They don't like
Really hope he figures
fly
it
south
out.
for the winter.
That's true. But don't they live in a hut?
We're going to do a lot of 8th grade remedial coursework. Okay.
Did you just call me remedial?
I didn't.
No, I'm just kidding. Oh.
Oh. Oh.
This is so good.
Poker face. I do like, so it has a lot of like beautiful, soft, smooth, light elements to it, and then these kind of like spiky, peppery, gingery bits that are just like poking at you. Even the linen, you know, the crispness of it. So it's a really lively scent. It's kind of like, instead of like soporific and super chill, it actually has a scent of being kind of like bright and cheerful. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It's a very well caffeinated milk tea boba.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love White Rabbit normally, but
I like this. I'm almost getting something
really
that
love
smells
this.
like faintly lemony to me, but I just think it's the other elements and maybe the sharpness of like the linen, and so my mind is autofilling it.
I actually get that.
Yeah.
I do think it is like the crispness overall,
Yeah.
probably.
And
Blending of
it's
the
like
spice
the
and
lion where there's so many of these kind of like warmer elements that the snowdrift is there, kind of like cooling things off, but it really isn't like a solid freeze, you know?
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, I would say that. It is not a solid freeze.
The sweetness of it is already kind of like evaporating off the skin, and I'm getting more of that white pepper and linen and tea. So I like feeling like this is going to dry out from like the more gourmandness, and it's going to relax a bit into just a kind of a more like vaporous, spicy situation. It's already more linen-y than it was when I put it on. Yeah, it's like a hug.
It is like a hug. Oh.
Shall we move on to Snow White Rider?
Okay.
So, in the BPAL verse, we have your White Rider, your Red Rider, your Black Rider, all different riders. You know, these are fairy tale figures. And the White Rider is a white leather and sandalwood situation. So this says white leather, vanilla ice, and frosted sandalwood. And I have been thinking for weeks about what kind of vanilla ice joke I could make when I finally had to read that description. And overall, I just found the thought morbidly depressing. And there's nothing. So
What
Although,
what is there to joke about?
I know. He's not funny. The other day, we were hanging out with a friend who the song came on, and he completely, like, speed rapped the whole song word for word along with Monsieur Ice, and it was the most stunning thing I've ever seen, because I cannot believe that people remember that so well. And then he just looked at us in disbelief.
Well, he just kept going.
And he was like, everyone knows
And he was
this.
like, how do you not know
Everyone knows the words to this. I'm like, I assure you that is not the case. Vanilla Ice doesn't even know all the words to that song anymore.
Just kind of hums it.
So, right. Yeah.
Or he's like at a concert, but he's just doing this, like pointing at everyone to say the word.
We just don't encourage him to sing.
Don't encourage anything.
Or speak. So, white leather, vanilla
Right.
ice, and frosted sandalwood. You did get a vanilla ice tangent, but that's not the same as a joke. Wow.
Okay, I smell sandalwood.
Yes.
I'm smelling that sandalwood.
The sandalwood manages to wriggle free from the iciness.
Oh, this is nice.
It's so different than what we just smelled. It really goes into much more of like a kind of like a smexier, vibe. Like seductive. Whereas Snow White Rabbit was like a hug in the sheets. This is like a special hug. I'm just saying.
I know what that means.
Turn off the lights and I'll glow.
Wait, what?
It's from the song. It's the part that I know. Don't take this away from
Part
me.
I was allowed to hear.
It's the only part I was allowed to hear. No, I don't. My mom, I don't know. I don't like this Vanilla Ice character.
Oh.
Wow.
This is so good.
It's just so confounding. I've never really smelled anything like this. That's sandalwood.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had like a sandalwood, I feel like, move on me like that before, like really putting the moves on. It doesn't smell excessively leathery to me.
No, but I smell it.
There's
I
just a
smell
kind
that.
of a hint of like, leather pants doing this.
Yeah.
Just kind of like selling it. Just a breath of vanilla.
Yeah, like just the very light vanilla chill.
To make it seem like, what you're doing is okay and publicly acceptable, but it's, everyone knows that there's like layers of kink going on here. So I've been wearing the Snow Whitechapel a lot and really enjoying it, but I really should alternate it with this because I think that they are kind of like, of a kind.
This is really good.
Yeah, I really don't know what to say. I mean, that sandalwood is just like, it feels like it's generating its own heat,
Mm-hmm.
Like the scent has like a kind of a body heat to it. It's the white leather pants. Right.
White leather pants shimmy. Oh.
Why does this have to be so sexual? Let's move on to another seductive stranger, which is the Snow Whitechapel. Whitechapel, for those following along at home, is a reference to Jack the Ripper.
Oh.
Because that's the kind of, This is a different seductive stranger, I guess. And the Snow Whitechapel perfume is glittering ice musk, lime rind, lilac, and citron, which I almost read as corn, but it's not. Citron.
And corn.
I don't know. I was like trying to figure out if the citron was the like the fruit or the plant. Citron. This is the one I think that smells like properly frozen. Like this smells cold.
This is cold. This is the coldest of them all.
This is the coldest.
Oh.
I know.
It is cold.
I love it because
Why is it so cold?
there's a sweetness that comes from the musk, and with the lilac, I think, that kind of like braids together. The lime rind is like a really kind of like dry, acidic smell, and the citron is like, I don't know if it's the fruit or the plant itself, which is a kind of like evergreen plant, but there's just something so bright about it and kind of like lively, but also like really cool and like suggestive of hidden depths. And overall, I just find this to be so fascinating and just a really beautiful scent. Like this, out of the Yules, this has been my personal, like, this is the one. This is the one that I want like a backup bottle of. Another citrus musk that I really like that's kind of boozy is Knuckle Bones from the Carnival Diabolique, but that's like a black musk. And it's kind of like a warm, you know, like gin and juice, kind of like, I don't know, whole different vibe. This is so kind of like severe, but then it has this kind of between the musk and then the lilac, this kind of like gentlemanly air about it.
Oh, that lime rind is intense.
I know. It is really like a Hannibal scent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, he would totally wear this.
And then I go back over to the sandalwood one and I'm just like, the couch is squeaking when I do that. It sounds horrible. I'm sure it won't read.
It might. Oh.
The Snow Whitechapel is also has a real like power to it. Like, I mean, in terms of like, it's the throw.
Yeah, it got some.
Yeah, it stays. I just love. I mean, that like the coldness is like in this one really married to something. I think that like instead of it weighing things down, you know what I mean? It actually seems to like lift everything up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just airborne. Really beautiful frozen scent. All right, so here we have your Snow Zombie. Great horror subgenre. Snow Zombie, shattered frozen rose petals, ice-limbed mosses, and permafrost.
Well, every element of that is frozen.
It's just cold.
That's cold.
It's very cold being dead. It's something they don't tell you before they reanimate you. We can bring you back to life, but we can't warm you up. Ooh. This is one that I used to wear. The original Zombie was one I used to wear quite a lot. And this is one where if there is a floral element from the Snow White that makes it over, then it's just probably going to be indistinguishable from the rose petals. That cold moss, though.
Uh-huh.
I'm not used to a cold moss.
It's cold.
I like this. It's fresh. It has a freshness, but also a darkness. It's so funny because, again, I love like a gourmand rose in general. I like all rose scents, but like the dry rose ones are interesting to me, but it can be so intense, and then the frozen dried rose, my brain doesn't even know what to do with it. It really has a cemetery frosty morning like smell to it.
Oh, I really like this. Yeah, it does. Oh, like it was dewy, but then the dew froze over.
All the flowers are still just left out. Because of like the moss and everything, like there's a sense of decay almost. Like I don't smell the dead leaves note, but there is something overall that really smells like the ground is going to crunch while you walk.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's really specific. This is kind of as rosy as I expected the KNAVE of Snowflakes to be, but it wasn't. Here it's just like coming right out there.
Like, I'm wondering if like one of the frozen elements is definitely like a mint or a eucalyptus or something, because I'm getting that kind of a cool chill.
Sometimes it
I
can be
don't know.
juniper, and that would make sense
that might be
for this particular blend, but it also might just have something to do with the moss.
I don't know. Yeah, it smells. There's a very cool, almost like minty
I think the moss
quality to
yeah.
it.
The mossiness definitely changes like the character of the rose note. Like,
yeah.
Tons and tons. It's really lovely. And that brings us to our grand finale, since we are also missing Velvet Snow.
Oh.
Which is TKSNOW. TKO is the lab's, best sleep blend. A great sleepy time blend. Very lavendery. I don't know, lavender, vanilla, is that what it is?
Something like that. Maybe marshmallow?
We don't have like notes listed for it, but like this is why people love it.
It's a floofy lavender dream.
A floofy lavender dream smell, and then this is that, except for frozen. Oh. So, TKSNOW! Shall we?
TKSNOW!
Finish him. Oh, well.
It does smell cold.
Yeah. I love a cold lavender.
Is there ice in here?
You can hear the tiny little ice cubes clinking in the bottle. Wow. What I love about this is knowing that I'm going to smell it in the bedroom before bed so many times, because you do that with the regular TKO.
Yeah, I'm a TKO sleeper. Now you know that. So.
This is a safe space.
The truth is out.
The frozenness of it doesn't interfere with how comforting it is.
Like you're not like, oh no, I'm sleeping on a snowbank.
Right. It's funny though, because it does, that chill is the kind of thing that is going to make this so wonderful to have again, like in the summer. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a welcome scent in the winter time.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if you want to cool things down if you're a hot sleeper in the big city, then you're gonna know what to do with this.
Oh,
it's a
just
dream.
Delightful.
It is a dream.
It's a cloud. Sleepy cloud.
But it's funny how the color palette of that cloud is so changed by the temperature. It's like a heavy gray winter cloud.
It's actually frost, which is silver with just a drop of lavender, as described to me by my old childhood neighbor.
That was your favorite color?
That was her favorite color, frost. I assume it was based off of like a nail polish or an eyeshadow or something, but she was so sure of it. I've never had anyone back up what frost is, so I think it's makeup.
Children have really extremely detailed imaginations when it comes to color, which is why so many of us have these incredible memories of reading every single paint chip in the Ace Hardware.
Yeah.
And coming home with all the free things and just like reading the name and then looking at the color and then just like, I don't know what the brain does when it's doing that, but it sure is intense, isn't it? And some of us never stopped. Yeah. Oh, this is on my arm. This is next to the White Rider, who is still off in the background, just being like,
creaky pants, creaky pants, creaky pants.
Squeaking those pants. And they go so well together that I don't even know what to do with myself. It's like a gradient that goes from lavender to sandalwood and then back, and I feel like I'm just going to make that journey on my own arm back and forth until someone comes to collect me.
I actually have too much on my arm. I just tried smelling something, and I think I smelled 2 of them at once, and I was like, what is that?
So... I have never really known about the phenomenon of like mail shock or whatever they say, like in terms of like scents needing to settle after they're shipped, because I was always getting mine like, from the lab because I worked there, like the juice was coming straight from the fruit, and now that we're getting perfumes delivered to us from Philly, it's been so interesting to experiment with this. And it was like this with the first round of gourmand Yules that we smelled, where they were so different than my initial first impressions right out of the mail, because how could you not smell them just to see? And then these also, big time, big change from when they first came in the mail. So, I is not a scientist, but I'm just fascinated by how, temperature and so forth affects the way that we perceive things. And now these have been sitting around here for a few weeks, and I feel like now is the moment when I finally get to find out what everything really smells like. And I want to know from the perfumer end how it is for Elizabeth to create scents that she can smell in real time and then understand how they are likely to age based on the components, because I think that is a major part of BPAL's wizardry, is knowing how what is likely to age and how it is likely to continue to reveal itself with age, because working with fresh components with a mind toward eternity, it seems like a really interesting professional and artistic challenge. So hats off, because that sounds hard.
Yeah.
So we done smelt it. Any final thoughts now that you're completely covered in?
I've got too much going on.
That Whitechapel is over here just screaming off of my left or my right arm.
Yeah. Your
left. My my stage right arm.
Right.
All right. Well, we still have some Yules left to smell, and we also, if we can get around to it before, travel interferes with our plans, we also have the New Year perfumes, the New Year cards that were released. We have them, and we could smell them for you if you want. So stay tuned, everyone, and thank you for tolerating our silliness yet again, or maybe you didn't, and the tab has been closed. But either way, you viewed the video. We got the one view from you, and for that we are eternally grateful. Take care, everyone. Stay warm. That's it. That's what you get from Gillen. Bye.